Oh Junwoo, Yuan, awakens and discovers he is alone at home. His parents left that morning in a hurry, leaving him money for groceries. Oh Junwoo is a gamer and is online with some of his gaming friends when he first hears about the strange disease that causes infected people to bite and even eat uninfected people, thereby infecting them. When Oh Junwoo turns on the television, he is surprised to see how chaotic the country is. As he reaches his balcony, Junwoo sees a chaotic and panicked crowd fleeing and running for their lives. Pandemonium is breaking out. Traffic accidents are numerous. Oh Junwoo notices a girl calling out for her mother. When her mother finds the girl, their embrace becomes a violent attack as the girl starts to devour her mother. Back inside again, Oh Junwoo hears similar noises in the hallway. As soon as he opens the door to the hallway, a neighbor named Lee Sangchul, Lee Hyunwook, from the next apartment barges in. Sangchul begs Junwoo to let him stay. Junwoo allows him to use the bathroom. A TV report describes the transformation infected individuals experience, including aggressive behavior and bleeding of the eyes that can ultimately lead to full-out cannibalistic assaults. When the neighborhood exits the bathroom, Junwoo notices a wound on his neighbor's hand. Shortly thereafter, Sangchul's eyes turns red and his body convulses. Junwoo pushes his neighbor back out of the apartment and into the hallway and locks the door to save his own life. Through the peephole, Junwoo observes a hideous murder in the hallway. Blood seeps under the door into his apartment. Junwoo secures the front door by pushing his refrigerator in front of it. Oh Junwoo receives messages from his family assuring him that they are safe. He checks his food supply and regrets of not going to the grocery the day before. He dedicates himself to survival. As night has fallen, Junwoo falls asleep on the couch. The next day, Oh Junwoo is awakened by a TV discussion of Professor Kim Yunjong of the causes of the behavioral change attributed to a mutated viral infection. The professor states that there seems to be a connection to the right brain, which is the source the very aggressive behaviors observed on the internet, as Junwoo soon finds out, is filled with people asking about their loved ones and putting up addresses under the hashtag alive. Seeking his own rescue, Junwoo puts up a similar post. He also comes across a disturbing video of a rather stupid young man, who is hanging outside the terrace of a multiple-story building with his phone attached to a selfie stick in a bid to get a signal. The young man is excited when gets a signal only to lose it soon after. He then stretches on tiptoes, loses his footing and falls from his perch. Junwoo sends out his drone to get a brief glimpse of the terror going on in the apartments around him before his cell phone battery dies. Then he even loses the connection to his streaming video game service. He falls asleep but is awakened by a commotion outside. From his deck, Junwoo observes a policewoman, Oh Haiwon, being torn to bits by fellow police officers now turned into zombies. Junwoo shouts at the predators out of sympathy, but the policewoman is overwhelmed. Junwoo's attempt to scare off the zombies nearly 100 meters away by yelling at them does nothing but to attract the attention of a zombie close to his home. Almost immediately, a zombie pushes his way past the refrigerator and into Junwoo's apartment. Junwoo was outside the railing hanging off his lanai when the zombie rushes him and falls several stories to the pavement below. Although Oh Junwoo was unharmed, it seems that his encounter with the zombie has further reduced his rations. The little food in the fridge has all found its way to the bloody mess on the floor. After 2 days alone, Junwoo records a video of his nearly miraculous survival for his subscribers. By day 7, Junwoo has invaded his father's liquor cabinet. TV news further details that the virus seems to be only spread by contact with the blood. Avoiding bites and stabs is the best way to stay free of contamination. The infected get a superior sense of strength and sensory capabilities. Many still possess the ability to perform behaviors they had before infection, such as opening doors and windows or performing their occupations. Junwoo eats his last bowl of ramen soup. Junwoo spills his water bottle and then discovers there is no running water in his apartment. By day 10, Junwoo is frustrated by the advisory on the television stating that survivors should simply wait it out at home. He refuses to leave the apartment and end up like the infected. He recalls his mother listened to internet radio shows. His attempt to listen to the radio on his phone is foiled when he cannot find any wired earphones to serve as an antenna. All his earphones are wireless. By day 15, Junwoo hallucinates that he is reuniting with his family. Waking up from the hallucination, he is left very sad. He gets a call from his mother, but the signal is so bad he barely hears a thing. He then duplicates the stunt the stupid young man on the internet had pulled earlier using a selfie stick to get better reception. He does not fall, but he clearly hears that something is not quite right with his family. In his anger, Junwoo breaks things in his home and goes outside. There, he sees a zombie that is surprisingly slow, and he takes out his anger on the zombie using a golf club. The violence urges others to come by. Not too long after, he is nearly swamped in a sea of zombies. Junwoo manages to get to his apartment alive when zombies exiting the elevator pile up against the zombies pursuing Junwoo down the corridor. Then Junwoo quietly walks behind the zombies until he arrives at his front door. Once Junwoo was behind the locked door, the zombies gather outside. By day 20, Junwoo decides that it is time to take his own life. As he dangles from the noose he has tied, a laser beam projects into his house from the apartment across the yard. The beam points to the word NO on the writing on the wall. He struggles with the noose until he is freed. June watches the beam then point to different alphabets on the writings on the wall to spell the word idiot. Someone is finally saying it. The source of the laser beam is a girl on the lanai opposite his. Kim Yoo-bin, Park Shin-hye, seems to have been watching Junwoo with a pair of binoculars. When Junwoo, now freed from the noose, sees her, he waves to her excitedly. She waves back in gestures that meet again at 7 o'clock. Unlike Junwoo, Kim Yoo-bin seems very organized and has prepared her house with a series of booby traps for zombies. Junwoo wakes up at 11 o'clock, late for the 7 o'clock rendezvous time they had previously agreed on. Junwoo gestures an apology and then projects his name on his phone. She reciprocates. After their brief attempt to communicate, Kim Yoo-bin hears a sound and attempts to find the source. They agree to meet at 7 o'clock again. One of Kim Yoo-bin's traps has snared a zombie that made its way into her house. She proceeds to axe its head off the next morning. At the agreed upon time, Yoo-bin attempts to pass food over to Junwoo when she sees that he is hungry. She attaches a rope to a baseball and throws it across, hoping it gets into his home. The ball does not make it and it lands in the street. Junwoo then uses his drone to deliver a rope to Kim Yoo-bin. Using the rope bridge, she passes him a container of snacks and a bottle of water with the encouragement not to eat too fast. An infected firefighter pulls on the first cable, causing Yoo-bin's table to fly across her apartment, knocking her out, and lodge into her balcony railing. The zombie starts climbing the cable. Junwoo distracts the zombie with his drone, ultimately sacrificing it. Shortly thereafter, Yoo-bin wakes up and cuts off the hand of the infected man as her reaches her lanai. The zombie falls to his death. Junwoo flashes a message to Yoo-bin on his phone to stay strong. Viewing his meager supplies and quite desperate, Junwoo decides to go farming. Leaving his apartment, he finds the key to his neighbor's door on a dead body. Junwoo cleans out the refrigerator and finds other food, clothing, a headphone with a cord and walkie-talkies inside his neighbor's unit. While searching for other items, an infected sleeping zombie wakes up and attacks Junwoo. Junwoo manages to save himself and bring the essentials to his apartment. After feasting on the peanut butter he found and unsuccessfully finding a radio station with his antenna cord, Junwoo sends a walkie-talkie and some food to Yoo-bin on the zipline. The two communicate through it. With the talkies, they eventually start to communicate. Yoo-bin is not interested in discussing Junwoo's suicide attempt. Instead, they decide to make noodle soup together. Later, Yoo-bin admits she is scared of heights. Junwoo finds it illogical that she has such a fear and was still able to cut off someone's hand. Yoo-bin says the monsters are no longer human, which relieves her of any guilt or fear. She tells Junwoo that she fell while climbing. While they talk, Junwoo asks Yoo-bin to bring out basins as he can hear heavy sounds and thinks it's raining. They look out the terraces, but it is not raining. Instead, they see a multitude of zombies running into both apartment complexes simultaneously. They both lie low and try to stay silent until Yoo-bin accidentally knocks over a shelf in her house. Junwoo calls a neighboring unit on the phone to momentarily distract the zombies in front of Yoo-bin's apartment. Yoo-bin prepares to leave as she knows she would soon be overrun with zombies. She informs Junwoo that her destination is the 8th floor of his apartment complex, which, as she had earlier noticed, was empty. They both agree to meet up there. Yubin jumps out of the terrace of her home, repels down to the street and runs towards the apartment complex across the way, swinging her axe to fight off numerous zombies. Junwoo is very impressed by her bravery and runs out to help her. He knocks a zombie off the top of Yubin with his golf club. They both narrowly miss being swamped by zombies as they enter the elevator to the 8th floor. They meet face to face for the first time. As they cautiously exit the elevator, all is peaceful on the 8th floor. This lasts a few moments while they are checking for unlocked doors. Soon they are again chased by zombies. Junwoo fights them off with a golf club while Yubin finds an unlocked door. A man, Jae Baesu, opens his door and quickly pulls them in before the Junwoo and Yubin are bitten and eaten. Once inside, they all share their stories of survival. The man seems kind and offers them water and food. He says he has enough for them to survive until a rescue team comes around. They are overjoyed, but it seems their joy is short-lived as they soon discover that the food was laced with drugs. The man zip ties their wrists while they slumber. He locks Yubin in a room with a sky painted on the ceiling. Yubin wakes up under a mobile in a locked room. The man is planning to offer Yubin as a meal to his starving wife, Lee Chae-kyung, now turned zombie. Yubin realizes that she's in danger and cries for help. Junwoo wakes up and threatens the older man with a gun they previously had recovered outside. The man holds the wife's harness, telling Junwoo keeping his wife alive is something he must do. He offers to let Junwoo survive if he just abandons Yubin. When Junwoo threatens to kill the man, he releases the tether holding back his wife. Junwoo leaps toward the tether, but it has mostly slips away under the door. Sounds of an attack are heard and then the room goes silent. The older man opens the door to see what is going on. Yubin manages to save herself by pulling the fabric over the infected wife's head. The older man submits himself to his wife's attack. Yubin shoots them both with the gun. The gunfire only draws the attention of more zombies. Seeing the end so close, Junwoo and Yubin decide to shoot themselves instead of getting bit and become infected. Just before Junwoo pulls the trigger on his partner, they hear the rescue helicopters. With hope rekindled in them, they struggle hard to make it to the rooftop of the apartment building. They use a push cart to clear a path through the zombies. Then Junwoo holds off a horde of zombies in the stairwell with a bicycle while Yubin escapes to the roof. Junwoo eventually pushes the zombies backward, giving himself enough time and distance to join Yubin on the roof. The choppers, however, are no longer in sight. Junwoo screams at the sky, "There are survivors here. We are still alive." The zombies find their way to the rooftop, push open the door and they gradually creep closer and closer to Junwoo and Yubin. Just when they are about to overwhelmed by the zombies, the military appear in a helicopter and shoot at the zombies while helping the survivors into the chopper. Once aboard and flying to safety, Junwoo receives a message from his family assuring him of their safety. He looks towards Yubin and they are both glad to be alive. A news report details how valuable posting on social media has been in locating survivors in the urban areas. The reference on Junwoo's social media posting changes from #I_must_survive to #alive. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.